All right, on the bench today, 2005 Jaguar XJ8 with the 4.2, and this has the supercharger on it. Okay, it is the ZF6HP26, 122,000 miles. Now, this car belongs to a very nice gentleman named Jeff, who drove from upstate to he brought the whole car here to have the transmission rebuilt. Now, we're dealing kind of with a problem, a bit of a strange issue, and he's been on top of this since minute one. Okay, so we're dealing with, basically it runs away on a downshift. Okay, and I believe recently it started squawking on the 3/4 shift. Now that's a mechanical problem. That has to do with the clutch. The clutch could be worn out. Maybe there's too much clearance in the E-clutch. So it kind of sounds like a hoot when the E-clutch applies. And you can hear it. It goes whoop, and then the E-clutch applies. When this thing gets hot and you kick it down maybe from 5 to 4, you'll hear that noise again and it races up like there's something going on with that E-clutch. It seems mechanical to me because I can get it to happen every time. All right, but the strange thing is when it goes into safe mode, we get no codes on the transmission. Scanned it, there's no codes. The engine, we have a P1582, which I did not write the definition down for that. I have a P1696 adapt speed control. And I have a P1643 communication area network link. There might be more to that, but that's all I have written down. And the funny thing is that there is another one of these exact same cars with the exact same problem in the Carolinas. I believe in South Carolina, because the gentleman had called me, and the two of them with the Jaguar owners have been going back and forth via email. And now they know the car is here, so we're going to see if we can find something wrong with this. Because if this fixes it, then we know what we got to do to his. But it's just strange how there's no transmission codes, but when it goes in a fail-safe, these codes come back. These communication area network and adapt speed control codes come back. All right, I did look at the clutch fill times. Now, I'm used to looking at BMW clutch fill times in millibars. So I don't know if the Jaguar would read the same as a BMW, because a couple of these clutch fill times were like 256 and some of them were 0. You know, 256 on a BMW is okay. You know, when you get up to 600 on a BMW, that's no good. But I don't know what's going on with the Jaguar lingo, as you say, when I look at adaptions. So another thing is these superchargers, these Jaguars, I've seen this probably 3 times, okay? You would start driving a car, the thing would drop out of gear, would kind of have its own mind when it would work right and when it wouldn't work right. And you would get maybe like a communication code, a U0101 or a U1900. And these, I've seen this, I've had this problem here probably 3 times. And the cars came in diagnosed with transmission problems, but when I scanned it, I saw the codes, and I already kind of know what's going on because I've seen it before. These things have pretty bad electromagnetic interference, EMI. And that is usually due to bad coils or possibly bad plugs. You don't even have to have misfire codes. The engine could be running good, but it could be a problem. I had, thinking about this car, I had one guy actually in the UK contact me via email with the same car, and he's telling me what the car is doing. All right, and it sounds like it's bad plugs and coils, because he said it's dropping out of speed, it's doing this. So I emailed back and I said, what have you done so far? They said, I had the transmission rebuilt. I put a new mechatronic in from the for the transmission, you know, new mechatronic with new solenoids. I had the engine computer changed. I think he did all of that stuff, and then I emailed back and I says, by chance, do you have a 0101 code or a U1900 code? And he wrote back, he said, as a matter of fact, I do. I said, okay, put 8 new coils in from the dealer and 8 new plugs in from the dealer, and your problem will be solved. So he did that, he wrote me back, and he couldn't thank me enough that it fixed the car. Okay, this really isn't doing that. Because when I've seen this problem, and it's so common with these superchargers, I don't know why, with the 4.2s, it's very common. Even with the Mercury Mountaineers, with the 4.6s, with the 6R60s, I've seen it. That's the first time I've seen it. I went on one of my wholesale accounts called me and says, oh man, I need you to come here. I have no time to bring the car down to you to check out. I said, no problem. I took her right up there on a Saturday. I had my scan tool. He gave me the key. I drove the car. I probably went 2 or 3 blocks and I turned around and went back. I don't even want to drive this thing. I was afraid. It was slamming, coming down, racing up, boom. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Then I started doing research on it, and I come to the conclusion it's probably got bad plugs and coils, so I told him, because the bus lines run along the right side of the engine. So I said, you know, if you're gonna do anything, do on the right side, plugs and coils, but what I would do is I would do them all. And he called me back and he said it fixed it. So, but this one, I can get to happen. When it gets hot, you hear that squawk, that is 100% mechanical, and when I kick it down, we hear the squawk also. And usually when you're dealing with electromagnetic interference, it may have a mind of its own. It may work okay, it may not work okay. Again, I can get it to happen every time. So I think we're gonna find something. Maybe with the E-drum, worn bushings, something like that. So getting back to the conversation, this guy has been on top of this problem since minute one, and he took all the right steps to try to cure it, and it did not fix it. Okay, he had dropped the valve body. He put a brand new set of ZF solenoids in, reset the adapts. He knows somebody with Jaguar software. Reset the adapts. It did not fix the car. He had the valve body out, dropped the valve body back out with the mechatronic unit. He sent it to Ericsson's. They went through the whole valve body, said they really didn't see much, put it back in, did not fix the car. He had, he got a TCM. So he dropped the valve body again, installed the TCM, had a program by his friend's Jaguar software, did not fix the car. All right, then we got into talking, and I says, you know, you should do plugs and coils, get OE plugs and coils, change them all, clear the codes, drive the car, see what happens. Did not fix the car. So and I believe it's a daily driver, so if you drive it easy, it runs fine. You know, when it gets hot, it does have that squawk, but when he goes to kick it down on a parkway, something, it just races up, safe mode, or bangs in a gear. And when he brought the car here and I drove it, you know, I was a little skeptical because it's, you know, a little bit expensive to to overhaul this transmission, but, you know, he understands. And the more I drove the car, to me, it seems mechanical. So, sorry for the long intro. I'm just trying to fill everybody in on what's going on, because we're going to open this tomorrow morning and we're going to see what we see. And I'm hoping we see something, but it's just very strange. No transmission codes at all. Never produced a transmission code, even when this thing was running away on the kickdown. Never produced a 5.4 gear monitoring code, but it does have that squawk, whoop, on the 3/4 shift hot, and I can get it to happen when I kick it down. That clutch goes, whirr. It's a hell of a noise when that clutch applies, and you know, if I was to drive this thing and had no history, didn't know any history on this car, I would say, yeah, this is transmission 100%, because the squawking is mechanical and we can get this thing to happen. I got it to happen every time I kick this thing down. So Be careful with those superchargers. They got issues with electromagnetic interference, and if you have certain codes, you know, you could have interference on those bus lines and totally screw this transmission. It doesn't know what to do, and it just drops out of gear or does some crazy stuff, and may not have misfire codes, but you should get like a U0101 or a U1900. So if I can think of anything else to add, I'll do it again. I'll add on to the intro, but in the meantime, tomorrow morning we're gonna chunk this transmission down, and we're gonna see what we find. And I'm gonna show you the parts that I got so far. I have my pan/filter. I have my overhaul kit. I didn't buy a banner kit. I do have an OE overhaul kit, but I didn't go for the banner kit because some of the frictions were Borg Warner, and I like to use Exity. So I got all Exity frictions. The converter is here, and I'm really just have to order and the bushing kit is here. Bushing kit is here somewhere. And I really just have to get the fluid, but I want to get this thing down, see what's going on, and see if we can solve this problem, because if we solve it, then we know what we got to do. Then the people in the Carolinas are going to drive the car here, and I'll do the transmission on that as well. So, all right, that is all for now, and I'm going to catch up with you guys in the morning, and I'm going to tear this transmission down. All right, back with you this morning, and we're going to go ahead and take the pump bolts out first, and then we'll get the flange out in the back and drop the pan, valve body, and take the gear train out. All right, so let's get these 27 torque pump bolts out first. Extension on it here. Okay. I got this flange nut in the back, 34 millimeter, 12 point. The nut is peened. I knocked that out of the way. Okay. Okay. This will come right off. I'll clean this up here. Okay. Right now we got a T40 for the pan bolt. And a T27. All right, let's get the 40s out first. Okay. Should have extra pan bolts. I'll put all T40s back. Okay. Alright. So again, this valve body has been done. Solenoids are new. Tab. Alright, now let's get the valve body out. Alright, it's T40, valve body bolts to case. Seal. I'm sure that's new also. Alright, so now we're going to get the pump. I'm going to take it apart to get it apart. Where's the one I'm looking for? Just lightly give it pry right in this area. And it comes right up. Okay, not here because that's more machined area. B-clutch. Bushings are all the Babbitt material, so they're all going to be changed. Alright, now we got to get that snap ring out. Snap ring. Okay, I'm gonna reach in and get the center support. Alright, So we have the C clutch here, now we're going to get the D clutch out. That is not big at all. Planet. Get the ring gear out. Okay. Okay, got a shim here that was stuck to the bearing. That'll go here. And another one on the other side of the bearing. Case strictly. Alright, so let me just, alright, so it's all chunked down. Now we're going to open up the front section. Let me just get rid of some of this oil. Give me a few minutes and I will be right back. Alright, let's take a look here. Get the snap ring out. A hub. Clearance seems a little excess here. Alright, so these are a couple of these are worn out. Top one here is pretty worn out. I know you probably really can't see it that well. But these aren't the greatest, these E clutches. You know, I want to check this drum also. And again, not bad, but not the greatest. You know, I could see some burn marks around here, but I got a whole banner kit anyway, so everything is going to get changed. Got a couple of burn marks on some steels. Overall, again, not too bad. Take a look at the seat. Again, a couple of burn marks here, but overall, not bad. But again, we're putting a full banner kit in this. Okay, so let's put this back. from the clutches being worn out, of course. All right, let me just move you guys up a little. We'll check this out, see if it's good. All right. Make sure we got the fluid going around. Got the other side blocked. All right, it looks good. Okay, drum is good. But the E-clutch is definitely worn. The bushings are worn. What we're gonna do now is, let me just reset. We're gonna open up the pump. We're gonna take this spacer out here. All right, let me just reposition. I'll be right back. All right, let's get these bolts out here. All right, pump looks good, nice and smooth here. Gears. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, again, the valve body has been gone through, overhauled, new solenoids, actually a new TCM. Alright, so this looks good. All right, let me just get rid of some of this oil, and I just want to show you what I have so far. I pretty much have what I need except for the oil. But I'll just give you a shot of what I got, and then we can finish it up. All right, so I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, here is my overhaul kit. That is original ZF. All right. Didn't even open it yet. All right, they give you a little diagram here for the sub packet, what they're used for. They give you a new bridge seal and sleeve, and all the seals and O-rings and sealing rings. Here are the sealing sleeves. They even give you a new drain plug for the pan, which I don't need because I got a new pan. So this is my overhaul kit. pan. And here are my different frictions. Again, I bought these separately because I want all exiting frictions. Okay. All right, here's my bushing kit, door bar. Give you everything in here. And they also give you what the bushing is used for. And these are all my bushings. Do have some left over on the 6HP26s, but that's the bushing kit. Alright, so here's the converter, and anything ZF goes to Ericsson's. I either send it, if they don't have it in stock, they'll rebuild it, send it back to me, or they'll ship it out, I'll ship them back to Core, whatever works, but anything ZF, I go through that. Alright, so once again, 2005 Jaguar XJ8 with the supercharged 4.2, and we were getting the little bit of a squawk on the 3/4 shift, and it's pretty much running away when you go to kick it down, and I would really hear that clutch make some noise, you know, on the kick down. So I'm thinking that due to the little bit of excessive clearance in the E-clutch and worn bushings, it's possible the clutch maybe was not holding. But again, very surprising. It's not setting any gear monitoring codes. I really don't know why that is, because these computers are pretty sensitive, and I scanned some of these cars and they got gear monitoring codes 3.4, 4.5, or 5.4, and you drive the car and it works okay. But this definitely was not. I can get this to happen every time. So we're gonna do the banner kit, bushing kit. We got the converter, and I'm hoping that will take care of it, you know, between the worn frictions and worn Babbitt style bushings. But I'm gonna wait to post a video until the transmission is done and back in the car, we drive it, and I will let you know if actually this fixed it or not. All right, so I thank everybody for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.